Sometimes, the more you desire something, the more you lose your ability to obtain it. In the workshop of a legendary watchmaker, a life-changing inheritance created the greatest crisis for the most gifted heir. This is a story about how forgetting the prize is the only way to win. In a forgotten cobblestone alley stood the workshop of Master Elias, the watchmaker. His name was a legend among collectors across the continent. The precise heartbeat of his timepieces was hailed as the soul of the mechanism. At his side was a gifted young apprentice named Arthur, who had studied with the master for 10 years. Arthur's fingers seemed born for the tiny gears and springs, and he believed he had mastered the deepest secrets of the craft. One day, the aging Master Elias gathered his disciples and announced he would bequeath his life's greatest masterpiece, a pocket watch named the Chronos, along with his entire workshop, to his finest successor. The heart of the Chronos, its escapement, was said to be so perfect it would not lose a single second in 100 years. From that day on, an unprecedented desire burned within Arthur. He worked day and night, trying to assemble a movement that would surpass all his previous work. However, the opposite occurred. The more he tried to prove himself, the more his fingertips trembled. The minuscule parts that were once compliant in his hands now seemed stubborn. The movements he assembled were always slightly off, and the intuitive connection he once prided himself on, that communion with the machine, had vanished. Filled with frustration, Arthur sought his master's counsel. Elias, calmly polishing a lens, simply said, "Be patient. Tomorrow, you will come with me to the spice market." The next day, they visited an old spice merchant named Silas in the city's most ancient market. His shop was filled with exotic aromas. They watched as Silas measured a costly herb for a customer. He used no scale, simply pinching a measure with his fingertips and placing it in a paper packet. The skeptical customer placed it on a nearby precision scale, and the weight was exact. Silas said, "I have worked with spices for 50 years. My fingers are more accurate than any scale." At that moment, Master Elias stepped forward, producing a small bag of gleaming crimson gold saffron. "Silas, my friend," he said, "this is the finest Persian saffron. If you can, as you just did, pinch out exactly 1 gram with your fingers alone, this silver coin is yours." The coin's value far exceeded that of the entire bag of saffron. The market's hum seemed to cease, as all eyes fixed on Silas's hands. The old merchant took a deep breath, his eyes glinting with desire for the coin. He carefully reached into the bag, took a pinch, felt it was too much, released some, then took another, feeling it was too little. After much hesitation, he finally placed what he believed to be the correct amount on the scale. The needle settled. The result was 1 2/10 of a gram. On the way back to the workshop, Elias said to the silent Arthur, when his mind held only the spice, His fingertips held 50 years of mastery. But when his mind was filled with the weight of the silver coin, that mastery was crushed by desire. A mind fixed on the prize loses the wisdom of the hands. Arthur stopped in his tracks. He understood completely. Back in the workshop, he no longer thought of the legendary Chronos. He immersed himself once again in the craft itself, listening to the faint clicks of engaging gears, feeling the very breath of the hairspring. Months later, he assembled a new movement. It was not perhaps the most ornate, but its every tick was perfectly in sync with the pulse of time. He eventually inherited everything from the master, not because he won the watch, but because he learned to forget it.